It looks as though head coach Nick Nurse is making a lineup change for the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to get to that on today's show, but also a lot of you have shown off that hoops knowledge down in the comment section, and I'm not surprised that Sixers fans know ball because Sixers fans, always very, very smart people. So we're talking trade ideas from some of our viewers. Stay tuned for all of that. But first, make sure you tune into the show and subscribe. Turn on those notifications, therefore, anytime we push out a show. Anytime we go live, and after the NFL season when my schedule lightens up a little bit because I'm really busy covering the National Football League, we're going to start to do some more Sixers watch parties. You will be notified. Let's get to 14,000 subscribers before the NBA trade deadline coming up on February 8th. And you're a winner at the end of the day because you're able to stay on top of all of the latest happenings around the Sixers. We do want to give a shout out to our sponsor today. That is Prize Picks. Number one and the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS for that $100 deposit match. What that means is you put in $100 to your account using that link in that promo code, you get $100 back. That's $200 to win real money with. Here are some of the picks that I like going into NFL Week 18 regular season finale. Josh Allen has been on a heater. I think he should more so be in the MVP race given how he's played over the last 2 months. Let's go more than 199.5 passing yards. CD Lamb has had a great year this year. More than 92.5 receiving yards for him. And Justin Fields, he's so dynamic when he's running the football. A little bit spotty as a thrower, but that's why I like 53.5 rushing yards. He can escape the pocket, run some RPOs, design quarterback keepers. Those are my selections. Get your picks in and win up to 25 times your money. Hop on board with myself, producer Chip, Trizzy Trace, Meek Mill, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Let's start off with storyline number one. And that's this potential new starting lineup for the Sixers. In a win against the Bulls on Tuesday, Nick Nurse deployed a new starting five. And what's crazy is that we kind of alluded to this and previewed this earlier this week. The Sixers starters against Chicago, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre Jr., Nicolas Batum, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. Some people are calling this the new Sixers death lineup. And it's obviously just one game, but the Sixers came out guns a-blazing. And they were lighting it up on the offensive end of the floor. They were really, really impressive against a Bulls team that had beaten them the two previous matchups between Chicago and Philadelphia. In the first quarter, you had Maxey, Oubre, Batum, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, all on the right side of the plus-minus. Maxey a plus 20, Oubre a plus 27, Batum a plus 26, Harris a plus 27, and Joel Embiid continuing to just play stellar basketball at a plus 25. Oubre the leading scorer in that starting five with 13 points. He was able to make some things happen, get some open looks, and in turn, take advantage of it. And in 63 possessions this year, that lineup right there of that five-man grouping is outscoring opponents by 18.7 points per 100 possessions. That's a small sample size, only on 63 possessions, but that's still dominant basketball right there. And to the man that constructed that starting five, who's seen previous to that Bulls game, that five-man lineup have success, Nick Nurse, here's what he had to say. We're going to see how well Kelly Oubre and Nicolas Batum share the floor tonight. This starting lineup was in the back of my mind that we're going with tonight, and it was something that was a possibility. I think it just makes us a little bit bigger and a little bit more athletic on the wing. With wingspan and things like that of the 2-3 spots, it gives us pretty good size in that starting lineup that we're going with tonight. I think that with them playing together, it's definitely going to be something that we're going to be looking at. And this lineup is great for a couple of reasons on top of what Nick Nurse had to say. You know, as he mentioned, you get more length and you get more athleticism in that starting five. As long as Oubre continues to play strong defense, he's clearly bought in on that end of the floor this year. He does fit well alongside Tyrese Maxey. And We talked about this a couple of days ago. De'Anthony Melton coming in off the bench, he's probably a better fit as your go-to guy, both with scoring and ball handling, coming off the pine. And I think he's better suited in that role compared to Kelly Oubre Jr. And De'Anthony Melton, this is not a demotion by any means. He is going to still play big minutes. And number 3, the winning formula. That's what it's all about for the Sixers. When Embiid and Oubre are both in the starting lineup, Philadelphia sporting a perfect 8-0 record. So really the numbers that back that up are enticing. And it leads you to believe, okay, let's see a little bit more of that starting 5 to see how sustainable that success can be. So who should start? Kelly Oubre Jr. type KO. De'Anthony Melton dealing with a little bit of a back issue right now. Type DM. Let me know down below in the comment section. Coming up next here on the show, a lot of our viewers, and I teased this a couple of shows ago, we want to hear from you. And we use some of your ideas with some of our talking points and some of our subjects here on the show, and that's exactly what we're doing. So we want to give you shout-outs to some of you who know ball and are getting very creative, putting your GM hats on. Arrow Hazel, this is his trade idea. 76ers receive Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen. Jazz receive Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Harris, 2026 and 2028 first-round picks from the Clippers, as well as a Philadelphia first, 2029 Clippers first on a pick swap, and the Pistons receive Tobias Harris. This trade very interesting because you get rid of Tobias Harris, you get a really good player in Lauri Markkanen who can create a little bit as a big and shoot from the outside, and you get a really talented bench scorer, former sixth man of the year in Jordan Clarkson. The Jazz get some pieces that they can kind of dump on expiring deals, but they get most importantly what they need, which is some future draft compensation. So Arrow Hazel, I like this, and I think it makes the Sixers lineup very, very interesting. Markkanen, very good player. Now to Jackson Resin. Hopefully I pronounced that right. This lands the Sixers a blockbuster player in DeMar DeRozan. The Bulls get Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, Daniel House, and a 2026 Clippers first-round pick. I wonder if you're the Bulls, if you make this deal, are you getting enough here? Basically, you have all these expiring contracts here and the 3 players from Philadelphia. The one true asset that you get is that Clippers first. DeRozan is so special because his game is so unique at getting to the mid-range area and knocking down some jump shots. His lack of three-point shots and attempts does concern me a little bit. Him and Tyrese Maxey can share ball handling responsibilities, and he is a really good player. He's also not a good defensive player. So those are my concerns with that one. CJ Sports, DeAndre Hunter to the Sixers. Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I've been a fan of, to Philadelphia as well. Hawks get Tobias Harris, Mo Bamba, KJ Martin, that Clippers first in 2026, and 2 second-round picks. Are you getting enough here by trading away Harris, who I've been critical of, with the 2026 first, and Tobias Harris? DeAndre Hunter is a pretty good player. My concern, though, he's always injured. And Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's hit some big shots and some big moments and has no fear at all, and isn't one of those players that's going to demand the basketball in order to be successful. So I'm somewhat intrigued by this one as well. Next up, Game Nuts. 76ers get Andrew Wiggins. Warriors receive Bojan Bogdanovic and Isaiah Stewart. Underrated big in my opinion. Pistons receive Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz on expiring deals. And then Jonathan Kuminga is the player and the headliner of that deal for Detroit. If you're Golden State, nothing has really gone your way this year. Subpar play, bad defense, bad rotation. Outside of Steph Curry, a lot of people are struggling. Are you giving up Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga? I think Golden State might want to trade away Andrew Wiggins, but they might want to keep Jonathan Kuminga to have some size and athleticism on that team. For Andrew Wiggins to go to Philly, he's always been a player who struggled a little bit in the spotlight. Outside of the NBA Finals a couple of years ago, where I thought outside of Steph, who won Finals MVP, he was the second best player on the Warriors. But him, fragile state of mind of late, going to Philadelphia, I hit the panic button with that because you're going to be expecting a lot from him. And does he clash with Tobias Harris a little bit as far as the stylistic nature of that trade, or of that lineup, I should say. So which of these trades would you make? Drop that username of the subscriber down below in the comment section and let us know. As for NBA All-Star voting, the first returns in the East, Joel Embiid getting the second most votes behind Giannis right now. That is pretty damn good. And then you look further down at that list, you really want to see a player like Tyrese Maxey. Not yet, but I think that Tyrese Maxey is worthy of being an NBA All-Star. And when you look at the guard spot with these NBA All-Stars, Tyrese Maxey has gotten 480,000 votes so far, so that's kind of a good sign. And you see him in there 5th place. The players ahead of him, really good. So it might be an uphill battle for Mad Max. I will say this, he could be in the running for most improved player. So that's a look at the NBA All-Star voting. I'm not going to be like Daryl Morey, be a homer, and tweet out a graphic of Embiid, Maxey, and Tobias Harris voting Harris to try to get into the All-Star game. He ain't worthy. Maxey and Embiid are. Appreciate everybody for watching the show today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time here on 76ers Now.